The You see, ethnography is rooted firmly in inductive approach. The purpose of this strategy is to describe and explain research subjects just the way it would provide a description or explanation to the subjects. This strategy is time consuming. Most of the studies in business perspective avoid using this strategy. One can apply ethnography to understand and interpret from the perspective of those involved in the process. See, ethnography is describing and explaining. This is the most important point of this. Describe and explain this experiment. Experiment was first applied to natural sciences with the purpose to study uh, causal links. In other words, to examine whether to change in independent variable induces change in dependent variable. So it is basically causal link. I think there is some mistake over here. It is a causal link, not causal. It is a causal. Okay. So basically what happens, in other words, survey is associated with the deductive approach. Most of the studies related to business and management adopt this strategy. So basically we usually use this strategy. Survey enables the researcher to collect huge amount of data from a sizable target population. The data can be analyzed using descriptive and inferential statistics tools. And इसकी example क्या है? Level of employee satisfaction in an organization is determined with a questionnaire. So in RP1 and RP2 we usually go through the survey method, survey approach. And how we go for the survey, because we need to take out the data from the sample. When we get the data from the sample, we go for the survey. Okay, since the population is quite huge, so we need to take the sample. So from the sample we use the inferential statistics, as you already know, as I have already taught you before. In the case study is another approach. It is the mixed method approach, a mixed approach. Case study involves empirical investigation. Whenever we write empirical means through data, through observation or through survey or through questionnaire, we get the data. So whenever we talk about the data, it is called empirical. So never be confused about the word empirical. Case study involves empirical investigation to study contemporary phenomenon using multiple sources of evidence. Not from single source, multiple sources of evidence. Case study is opposite to experimental strategy, which is not bound to a context. Experimental study इसका context से कोई ताल्लुक नहीं, but case study has a strong relationship with the context. It is most suitable when to gain in-depth insight of the research. When you want to gain the in-depth insight of the research context. इसकी एग्जाम्पल बताता हूँ मैं आपको. So for your better understanding, one can adopt the case study strategy to study reasons which led to the fall of Nokia as a case example. Basically you try to analyze the happening. For example, the HEC could, what I came to know from the news, the government is trying to get the $200 million from the international bank, and the government is demanding the loan from the international bank on the basis of investing in education. Investing in education at the time of global pandemic. So in the novel virus problem, the government is trying to invest in the online education through the loan. So what the government, after few years of investing in the online education, government could start a case study research in which the government see that wherever they invested their good income or the good amount, so what happened on these decisions. So for example, what was the quality of education when the government approved the online education. So through the case study research approach, they can study the decision they took in the past. See the fall of Nokia. Nokia used to be a industry leader. Okay, but now Nokia has almost none of the market share except uh, few percentage, 1 or 2%. Nokia has no smartphone available in the market, and they have few which are not very well in demand. So you can do a case study research on the fall of Nokia, why Nokia lost its market. So another approach we are looking at is the grounded theory is the best example to mixed approach where the emphasis is on theory building. This strategy is adopted to predict and explain a behavior. So basically through theory grounded theory, we try to develop a theory, and in that strategy, in that approach, what we do, we predict and explain a behavior. We predict and explain a behavior. So through this grounded theory approach, we develop a theory. We develop a theory. In this strategy, the research initiates with the development of the theoretical framework. New theories are developed on the basis of the theoretical framework. So we start with the theoretical framework, then the new theories are developed of the changing behavior, and through grounded theory, you explain the new behavior pattern of the previous theory. For example, one can study the impact of culture on eating behavior in a particular city on the basis of theoretical underpinnings. This can be proven with respect to a specific case. Basically, the impact of culture on eating behavior in a particular city on the basis of the theoretical underpinning. What does that mean? It means what is the impact. For example, the we take an example of a small city where the people wakes up very early and they have a different eating pattern. So from the previous theory, we try to analyze the current behavior of the people. So which theory we will take? We will take the theory of the small city people behavior previously mentioned by other researchers. So with that theory, we will try to analyze the impact of culture on eating behavior in a particular city. So we will try to find out try to understand the eating behavior taken a particular city. When we say in a particular city, it means it can be a city where the study is going on. So whenever we develop a theory, we always say it is in the context. It is not a universal. The law is universal, but the theory is not universal. So that is why it is written in a particular city. City could be of the third world country or the first world country. If it is the first world country, this theory will be applied to any first world country particular city of that type. But if this research is of third world country, so the same theory can be applied to the third world country small particular city. ठीक है all. So the case study we have already discussed.